everyone, my name is Alan and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about 4 books that I read in July. And in July, I chose to focus on 4 history books, but from very different areas. So let's do this. The first book that I read in July was Transgender History by Stryker. And as this title suggests, it's a history of the transgender movement in the United States after the Second World War. In this short history of the transgender movement, Stryker starts by looking at how different religions or cults have portrayed people who embodied the spirits of other genders. Then she explores our conception of gender and how it is influenced at the present moment by the developments in technology and medicine. At the moment, people can do all sorts of surgeries to radically change their looks. And in films, they can portray the most unimaginable creatures and present it as normal. She also talks about the difference between sex and gender and terms like cisgender, cross-dressing, and so on.
Gay, straight, transgender.
Stryker mentions the clashes that the transgender movement had with the second wave of feminism, who considered transgender people as an attack on women and supporting patriarchy. That is why the transgender community has become an issue in feminist studies only with the third and fourth wave of the feminist movement. Another clash was with the homophile movement, and that is why the transgender people were included quite late in the LGBTQ community. Besides these things, Stryker mentions the development of queer studies and transgender studies, and how Judith Butler's concept of gender performativity has changed the way we look at transgender people. I would give this book 5 stars out of 5 because it's a very informative book about contemporary issues. And some of these issues I wasn't aware of, and this book clarified a lot of things for me. The second book that I read was Holy Shit, A Brief History of Swearing by Melissa Mohr. And I'm not going to use any swear words in this video. I swear.
You know, you could go to hell for swearing.
So this book looks at how swearing has developed across the ages in the Western world, from the Roman period to the present times. It talks about how oaths and obscenities, and this includes racial and homophobic slurs, were used by people in various historical and cultural contexts. In this brief history of swearing, you will find details about the origins of some well-known and lesser-known swear words, which I found very interesting. For example, I didn't know that the word twat in the past used to refer to women's private areas, or the F word is of Germanic origin, or the word bugger in the past used to refer to anal sex. Another thing that I found interesting in this book is that swearing has a cathartic effect. It helps us deal with pain. There was an experiment that showed that people who were swearing while they were keeping their hands on ice, they were able to deal better with pain. Another thing I want to add is that swearing in general is associated with honesty and the lower classes. But this belief is not very accurate, so we should take it with a grain of salt. In conclusion, this book was quite fun, and I enjoyed reading it, and I would give it 4 stars out of 5. The third book that I read in July was what we talk about when we talk about books: The History and Future of Reading. And this is a pretty short book, and it's about our reading habits and how things have changed over time, and what kind of impact reading has on our personal lives. A good portion of this book is dedicated to what bibliotherapy is and how it is used to help children and adults to deal with psychological issues.
Tells me that goose-stepping morons like yourself should try reading books instead of burning them.
The author talks about the decline of reading in the digital age, but she puts forward some good arguments and statistics against the reading decline myth. In the contemporary world, people are reading differently than before. They are reading more ebooks on their phone, tablets, and laptops, even if they still enjoy reading printed books. So it's an interesting book to read if you want to know about our reading habits and if reading books will become obsolete in the future. I was always fascinated by time travel, and I loved to watch movies about this topic. Back to the Future was one of my favorite childhood movies. So this is the reason why I chose to read this book by James Gleick, Time Travel, A History. The book is about how time travel has been depicted in literature and film, and how physicists and scientists have tried to answer this question. So you'll find definitions of time given by scientists and how time has been imagined by writers from St. Augustine to Borges, but also how we talk about time in our daily conversations. James Gleick talks about the difference between traveling back in time and traveling into the future, and why it is easier to travel into the future.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Of course, we always have our minds to help us relive past experiences. So mental time travel is possible. So this is an interesting book, but I have to say it wasn't what I expected. So I would give this book 3 stars out of 5. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, add a comment, and subscribe to my channel to see new videos. See ya!